And let me go to Ron. Ron calling us from Ohio. Hey, Ron.
Hey, how are you today?
Good.
I got a question.
Okay.
Listen to your show quite often in the mornings. I'm a retired teacher. I have a 403B. I'm 62 years old. How can I start pulling some of the money out without having to pay? I know I have to pay some taxes without being killed in taxes.
Well, the only way you can really try to control it, Ron, is not to pull out any more than what is going to push you into the next tax bracket. So you receive X amount of money that you file your taxes on through pensions or whatever else you might have. And so at the end of the year, when you file your taxes, if your income is whatever it is, $35,000 a year, the next tax bracket is I'm making this up, is $55,000 a year. Then you'd have, $20,000 leeway there that at least you could draw out without shoving you in another tax bracket. But it is almost it's impossible to avoid taxes. And the only way you don't get clobbered as opposed to just your regular ordinary taxes is to try to keep your tax bracket as low as possible. So I believe that everybody with their 401ks and IRAs at a certain point in time have to be conscious about drawing the money out. People make the mistake, Ron, of spending in their retirement their other savings. So they have savings and investments, and they need to supplement a little income. They need to go on a trip, or they're visiting grandchildren, whatever they're doing. And they're using the money out of their savings and investments and not using their 401ks or IRAs because for some reason they just want to hoard that money. Well, the other reason is they don't want to pay taxes. Here's the problem. You're never going to avoid the tax. It's impossible. So it's far better for you to pay the tax now than to make sure don't ever allow that money to get caught into your estate. Rather take it out, move it over into your investment account. Let that money get caught into your estate, not your 401k. So everybody should have a systematic way, an amount of money that they're taking out every single year. Now it's 70.5. Of course, you have to, but even above that. So you really can't avoid it. The only thing you can do is just make sure you don't take so much out that it throws you in another tax bracket. That's about the best you can do. But I would submit to everybody listening that your tax bracket this year could be the lowest tax bracket you ever see. I don't, unless we get, 5 years from now, we have a new administration that's very aggressive. We're seeing prosperity across the country, and they start cutting the tax base as opposed to raising it. I don't see that happening anytime in the near future. So I think that, I know we all hate to pay that tax, but trust me, if the Lord calls you and your spouse home and that money is left to your heirs, they're going to get clobbered. They won't even get half the money when it's all said and done because they got to pay their tax on it. They got to pay all your tax on it. Now your estate has just filed your final tax return because you're gone and all your assets are included. So you're going to be in a higher tax bracket on that last tax return because everything's going to be included as part of your estate. And you're going to be in a higher tax bracket. You got to pay. They're going to be paying tax on that rate, and they're going to have to pay tax on it. It's going to get clobbered. So, unfortunately, Ron, there's no way. The only way you can keep from getting clobbered is stay within your current tax bracket.